Cool Spot, Yo Noid, Pepsi Man. Prime examples of games trying to sell you something. On the one hand, it rolls your eyes for you even before you power on the system. On the other hand, there's something refreshing about an entire game recognizing its place as a shill rather than inexplicably having to snowboard through a giant Honda Element. The latter starts out awesome and then becomes jarring. The former jars you right from the jump so you don't get your hopes up. But even then, just because a game is effectively a huge commercial doesn't mean it can't be good. Yo Noid started out as Masked Ninja Hanamaru, a respectable game in its own right, before it got dominoed. Cool Spot was a legitimate platformer with a quality soundtrack, carbonation not included. And MC Kids, which I'm going to pronounce McKids, just McCause, is a perfect example of overshooting your target demographic, creating a game that's actually too good. I know, it's weird. McKids details two children, Mick and Mac, who are conscripted by the evil taskmaster Ronald McDonald to run around in a platforming video game, collect cards, and arches. McDonald's arches. Along the way, there are all sorts of hostile wildlife which you can fend off by bludgeoning them with a block. Kind of like a nutritionally suspect Mario 2, if you want to think of it like that. Mechanically, the game's pretty solid, with aspects like installing blocks and moving platforms, multi-directional throwing, springboards whose behavior varies by how much weight you're carrying at the time, and even platforms that let you run off the edge, around the corner, and onto the underside, thus reversing gravity in your own reference frame. Pretty highfalutin for an NES platformer, and almost completely out of the realm of the 6 to 12 demographic McDonald's was aiming for. Each world requires finding a certain number of cards to advance to the next, which can be found strewn throughout the half a dozen stages within. As such, there's quite a bit of exploring to do, backtracking to try hidden items to try to find. Of course, there's also these bastard arrow block things which fling you all the way back to the beginning of the stage in defiance of physics, compassion, and FDA regulations. You've only got 4 hearts worth of health, what they call the old quadruple bypass in the biz, and you never know when there's some troublemaking, snowball-chucking yeti all hopped up on shamrock shakes. Delicious. Here's the thing, take away all the creepy clowns, fast food-related imagery, and whatever the hell Grimace is, and you've got a pretty solid game. It's a decent platformer with quality mechanics, wide areas, and acceptable control. But as typified the NES era, there are plenty of good games out there that were, for the most part, just out of reach of the kids that made up the largest part of the market. But now, you can go back and put things right between you and the clown. Knowing what you now know about nutrition and trans fats and whatnot, you can put your fist through this game. A fist full of nutritious snacks. Because celery is Ronald McDonald's kryptonite. I just made that up, but I'm gonna run with it.